Good evening, everyone. We are live on the Grand Plaza. I'm Rachel Ruiz. It is a bittersweet night. The end of ArtPrize is almost here. The big finale is tomorrow night, but we also get to find out who the grand prize winners will be. Tonight, we're going to share some of the untold stories of ArtPrize.
I'm Eva Aguirre Cooper, an ArtPrize entry designed to spark a conversation about our mental health. We'll meet the artists and tell you their story.
I'm Jordan Carson, and I'll be showing you an installation that pays tribute to an important event in history that many Americans are unaware of.
And I'm Ellen Baca with a mother's tribute. A mother paints a goodbye she wishes she could have given to her daughter, killed in a crash.
I'm Casey Jones. When two crafts mix, art and beer. Tonight here in Beer City, USA, see a different side of the craft brew industry.
I'm Miranda, and see how ArtPrize is inspiring young people to create.
The votes are being counted, and the competition is winding down. On Friday, more than $500,000 will be handed out. But tonight, we use all the resources of Wood TV 8 and take a look back.
From Wood TV 8, live from downtown Grand Rapids, this is an ArtPrize Finale Week special. Tonight, we start with Rachel Ruiz.
ArtPrize is in its 7th year and still offers the largest cash prize in the world. In 2009, when it all started, an artist from New York City, Ran Ortner, won the big grand prize, $250,000. I recently visited New York City to see Ran, to talk to him about what he's doing now, how his life is different because of ArtPrize, and what he thinks of what this art competition has become. New York City is a world away from Grand Rapids, Michigan. But for an artist in Brooklyn, Grand Rapids, and ArtPrize specifically, they would play a role in changing its future. We are here in the studio of Ran Ortner, the winner of the first ArtPrize competition. And Ran, you have to tell us, how did you first hear about ArtPrize?
Well, first of all, welcome. It's great to have you in my studio, a little flavor of Grand Rapids. Of course, no one had heard of ArtPrize because it hadn't happened yet. And when I first heard of it, I was incredibly suspicious. For one, there was no cash prize like this in the art world. The biggest prizes were the Hugo Boss Award, the Turner Prize, and they didn't have anything like the same cash prize. So when I first heard of it, I'm like, this is an internet scam. Yeah, it's fascinating going from that initial impression of it to then having it change my life so significantly.
So when people started responding to your painting, what were the inklings that you were getting out of Grand Rapids? Because you were in New York, you were out of town, you weren't in Grand Rapids when the competition started.
Yeah, it was really, as an artist, you're constantly managing expectation because it's just this struggle and you're always hoping to gain some traction. And so I was really thrilled that I could do a piece as large as I was able to do. I guess I was in New York 20 years at that point, and I would do a week of construction work or a design project or something and try to put, pay my rent, put finances out of my mind, try to get my head down into my art for 3 weeks. With this happening, after so many years of that, it changed everything because it just gave me a bit of breathing room.
Ran says he put all $250,000 of his ArtPrize winnings into his studio, making it larger and a better place to work on and view his large-scale paintings. What do you think is the most prominent change in your career as an artist since winning the first ArtPrize competition? Because there have been many years, like you said, nobody really knew what ArtPrize was, but it's pretty much become something special.
Yeah, the impact on me is, I couldn't overstate it. I had so much happening. I'd been at it for such a long time. I was 50 at the point at which I won ArtPrize. But I needed something to give me a tipping point, something that would free me up more to the connections that I did have, things that were happening. The other thing that is often not stated is the press. The press is so powerful. There was half a page in the New York Times, and then it was the Associated Press, so that was global. So it was from the BBC, China, India. I was getting people reaching out to me from all over the world.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about your inspiration behind your work. Water.
Water.
Do you think it's something that resonated with people just in general, or do you think that there was maybe something that you had an edge being in Michigan. People love their Great Lakes.
Yeah, I think, it's so serendipitous. For one, water is so primal for all of us. Michigan in particularly, and I had no idea that there's as much shoreline in Michigan as there is in Florida. So that was completely serendipitous, and most certainly, just a very fortunate fall of events.
I asked Rand if he paints anything besides water. He said not really. He still has a lot to accomplish with the subject and has just as much passion to paint it as he did before ArtPrize.
But painting, which is a building of layer after layer after layer, it gives you this lush, slow quality, a slowness, and also there's a physicality. When I paint a highlight on a painting, it's a bump that sticks off the surface, and so it's sculptural. It has physicality.
I guess now, in seeing how it has evolved, because we're approaching ArtPrize 7 right now.
Right.
And you've been back to Grand Rapids have participated. What do you think about where it's gone and the whole process and the opportunity and the conversation and all that?
It has expanded the way that the art world functions. It's very easy to see it as a small thing, the major museums, the major institutions or galleries are really the keepers of the keys of culture, and this is where all the good stuff is. But it's a wonderful addition to the way we can encounter and confront art. There's so many people that are thinking and considering art that would not have out of the context of an event like ArtPrize.
The focus of a documentary and book about his art and his ArtPrize win. His painting, Open Water, number 24, has a home in Grand Rapids. You can actually see it at Reserve Wine and Food on Monroe Avenue, right next to the Amway Grand Plaza Hotel.
Here's the top 5 in the time-based category in the public vote. Breakthrough by Breakthrough Team at DeVos Place. Hometown Hero by Pamela Alderman at the Amway Grand Plaza. Movement by Craig Merchant at the Grand Rapids Public Museum. Symphony of Gestures by Sarah Dittrich and Benjamin at UICA. And Whisper by Emily Kennerk at 250 Monroe Avenue. Whisper. This is the only work that appears on both the juried and public shortlists.
It's a sad story, but it's also a beautiful story. 8 years ago, Becca Neese was killed by a drunk driver. Due to the nature of the crash, her mother, her brothers never got a chance to say goodbye. That's when her mother, Diane, started painting. It took 8 years for them to finish the painting, but now it's on display this year at ArtPrize, a way not to say goodbye, but to remember her daughter. Tucked in the corner of the Mayan Buzz Cafe, a painting, Wrapped in Love. A mother and 2 boys swirled in color, holding a girl, Becca.
She was very loud. She was very funny. She was very loving. She was going to school to be a elementary school teacher.
Becca was only 23 years old when she died, killed by a drunk driver one dark night in January.
I made it to the crash scene while she was still down there, and they wouldn't let me go see her.
Her mother, Diane Neese, never got to hold her daughter for a final time. That's when she started creating this.
I had sketched it out, started to paint it, I couldn't finish it, so I flipped it against the wall so I didn't have to look at it.
It took 8 years. In some ways, it's still not finished.
If you look close, though, you can see, that's still pencil, because it was just too hard to work on her.
The painting portrays how Neese wishes she could have said goodbye. Her brush capturing in acrylic the send-off that should have been.
We were down here one day, and it was just on her face, and everything else was dark, and it just looked perfect. It just looked like she was glowing to me.
A beautiful goodbye to always remember the daughter left behind. Now, Diane Neese says this isn't the last painting she's going to do of her daughter. She's actually planning more. The next one, a picture of her daughter as she would have been as an older woman.
The Talsma Concert Series on Wood TV 8, sponsored by Talsma Furniture.
You guys look like about 150 people.
We are standing here live with Tony Luca, Detroit native, and he has been heating up the stage. You're also third place from The Voice in 2012. Tony, why don't you tell us who's joining you here on stage tonight?
Yes, tonight I have my good friends, the Rollaways, Mr. Stephen Bentz on bass and Mick Capdeville on drums.
since The Voice, your career has just exploded exponentially. You have a new album. You've been recording in the studio. You've been touring all over the place. What's next?
Ah, man, what's next? It's just, you know, it kind of gets to the point where it's thankfully more of the same. You know, you just, you keep writing songs, you keep recording them, you keep putting them out, you keep hitting the road to promote your records. And it's been like that, you know, well before The Voice, and it's going to be like that, you know, for the foreseeable future.
All right, so why don't you tell me really quickly what it's like to play for an audience like this?
It's awesome to be back in Michigan. You know, I love, I got a lot of family here. I've got some friends from the hometown that came out from southeast Michigan, and it really is nothing like being in front of a familiar crowd. Even those of you that I don't know, I feel like I do. So thank you guys again for coming out to support it.
Let's get to know Tony a little bit better. You're gonna play us out?
Yeah.
Let's go, take it away.
I never told. You're the soul I never sold. Ain't no demon gonna hold a candle to you, baby. On a ride I can't control, chained to the open road. No demon gonna hold a candle to you, baby. 'Cause I lie naked on the table. All these cards I've come to play. As my tongue comes all untangled, I found the words to say. My confession, for the lies I never told, for the soul I never sold. No demon gonna hold the candle to you, baby. Right, I can't control, chained to the open road. No demon gonna hold a candle to you, baby. Lying naked on the table. All these cards I've come to play. As I finally come on tango, I found the words to say. My confession, for the lies I never told, for the soul I never sold. No demon gonna hold a candle to you, baby. No demon gonna hold a candle to you, baby. No, there's no measure, no need to compare. Yes, I would chase you anywhere. I found the words to say. My confession, found the words to say. My confession, for the lies I never told, for the soul I never sold. No demon gonna hold a candle to you, baby. Right, I can't control, chained to the open road. Ain't no demon gonna hold a candle to you, baby. Ain't no demon gonna hold a candle to you, baby. Ain't no demon gonna hold a candle to you, baby. Thank you so much.
We are back with more of our Art Prize special live from Rosa Parks Circle. An international artist that is here with Art Prize recently spent some time with some high school students teaching them the art of stained glass. Rockford High School. Are you ready for an Art Prize experience? Yeah! All right, I love it. Kids getting hands-on opportunities to work with world-renowned artists like the amazing Peter.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thanks for letting us come in and kind of just take a look at what you're doing. What do you hope to teach the students today?
To behave well.
Oh, good luck with that. You have all this beautiful glass.
No, I want to try to tell them that art is done out of nearly nothing. You see all this scratch here, and in a moment you will find out that it can be formed in a way so it becomes art, you know. Because everything that you do as an artist is taking from nothing and make a lot out of it.
You've made something pretty spectacular in the chapel here at Cornerstone University. The stained glass windows are gorgeous, and you've taken a smaller version as an Art Prize entry. Yes. Why did you do that?
Well, first of all, when I work, I cannot just start working with these huge windows, which are about 30 feet tall, which are really great windows in the size also, I think. But then I do sketches before. And those that you have here is not replicas, but they are sketches on its way to the final work. I have done another set of it, which is lying over there. So this is my approach always, to do a lot of things before I go to the final task.
Well, the kids today are excited to get in here and work with you. Yeah. What's your best words of wisdom to young people who someday dream of being amazing artists like you?
Well, it's to be yourself.
All right, are you ready to all be yourselves and express yourselves? Come on over, let's make some art.
I love how he comes from Europe, and it's just so cool seeing the different culturals, you know, because he likes to be from, you know, where he's from. So it's he just does the root of what he does, and it's so cool.
I just think it's awesome because it's relating to what we're learning in our art class. We're learning about monochromatic scales, and this is just what he's showing us right now with the same color and putting it in your artwork, and I think it's really awesome. It just makes it way more special, and it's just so cool to see. If somebody from here, if they were doing a presentation, it wouldn't be as big of a deal to us, but it makes it really just unique to every person, and I know we're not going to forget this.
Any opportunity for these kids to see that art is more than just an activity in the classroom, any opportunity for them to see that there's real artists out there making real work is so important for them, because they don't always have that opportunity when they're just up in Rockford. That's why Art Prize is so important for them as well. And with this class in particular, a painting class, how exciting to see that painting is done in more than one medium. That they're doing, you know, watercolors and acrylics, but here is someone who is painting with glass and creating just as beautiful a work.
It's interesting to see it integrated into architecture. That's not something you see very often anymore. And it's true that architecture is its own kind of artwork, but at the same time, it's really, really cool to see visual arts like sculpture and glassworking being included in buildings that are, you know, just kind of around. And it reminds me a lot of older cathedrals and churches.
Super cool. He's really cool, and it was really hard at first, but it's fun. It was fun.
Were you scared?
No, not really.
Kids creating art. We love it. You know, as students, why have you enjoyed Art Prize?
I really like all the pieces you can interact with and be a part of the art.
It's very cool. How have you been inspired by walking around and seeing all this art?
Well, it's definitely inspiring, the different ideas the artists have and convey it in the different ways they do. It's cool.
Excellent. You know, it's so fun to have opportunities to interact with art at ArtPrize. Things like what Josh brought us tonight. What do you have for us, Josh?
Well, I brought down a bunch of drums, and I brought some friends with me. But I didn't bring all these friends with me. I have a whole bunch of people here who just want to play drums with us, and it makes me really excited.
It's fun because I see people walking up and saying, hey, could I have a pair of sticks? And they want to drum too. Now, you're not just some random guy. You do this all the time, don't you?
I'm very lucky I get to do this all the time. Every day of my life, I get to drum with somebody in this town. It's great.
You know, when you think about ArtPrize, it really inspires us all to create and express ourselves. How does music do that for you?
Well, music for me is about communication, and what it means is I get to communicate and have a great time with a whole bunch of people that I wouldn't necessarily have known otherwise.
Well, I cannot wait. Everybody here is very excited, aren't you? I can see it. They're ready to play.
Yeah.
Let's play.
All right, thank you very much. Here we go.
Inspiring. Josh, you were fabulous. That was phenomenal.
Thank you very much.
Give yourselves a round of applause. People coming out to Rosa Parks Circle, creating art, and I see smiles on everyone's faces. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Miranda, for having me.
This is awesome. Good job, you guys. Thank you. Great job.
Remember, you have until tonight at 11:59 to vote for your favorite piece. Then the big awards come tomorrow, where the artists with the most votes in each category will win the $12,500. The artists with the most public and juror votes each win a $200,000 public vote grand prize. You can watch the awards ceremony live on Wood TV or join us for a big watch party at Rosa Parks Circle. Your votes have been tallied, and here's a look at the top 20 in public voting in the 2D category. As Above by Judith Braun at the Grand Rapids Art Museum. In a Promised Land by Sean Michael Warren at DeVos Place. Michigan Petoskey Stone by Randall Libby, also at DeVos Place. Northwood Awakening by Loveless Photo Fiber at the Ford Museum. Ann Loveless is the only past ArtPrize winner who is back this year on the final 20 list. And Triple Play by Annie Crowder, also at the Ford Museum.
I had the opportunity to talk to one of the artists that is on that top 20 list about his installation that revisited the aftermath of the Tulsa race riots in 1921.
The piece depicts the aftermath of a point in history that's not really discussed in regards to American history and even black history. It depicts the aftermath of the race riot that took place in Tulsa, Oklahoma on June 1st, 1921, and it was responsible for the destruction of a town called Greenwood.
The oil painting, it's using a traditional media, so it's kind of neat to see that
the subject of the Tulsa painting is really important, and I like that it's there.
The riot started as a result of a series of false stories that took place. A young black male by the name of Dick Rowland was falsely accused of assaulting a white woman in an elevator. He was taken into custody by Tulsa police. But what happened was that the KKK had assembled a mob that went into City Hall, and they wanted to publicly execute the young man. And simultaneously, there were a group of armed black veterans from World War I that came to try to aid the young man and protect him. There was an encounter that took place between one of the black veterans. One of the members of the riot was trying to disarm him, and in the scuffle, a gunshot had went off, and pretty much the riot ensued from there. And on June 1st of 21, 40 blocks of black-owned homes and businesses were completely burned to the ground.
They tried to kill all the colored folks they could see. I was afraid for a long time, and still thanking God that I was still alive, that my family was alive.
This is one of those parts of history that's not really discussed or talked about. And for me personally, being a black man, I feel it's necessary to tell the stories of black history that go unnoticed. There are other times in history where blacks were in affluency and they were wealthy, they were prominent people. And I think those stories need to be told as well. Coming into this, my hope was that people had received the story in a way where it convicted them to actually study more on this event and actually to know that there is more to history than they think. I've had professors come by here and said they had never heard of this event taking place or the history of Tulsa. So to hear that, but also to hear that they felt embarrassed and convicted in knowing that there is more to history that they are completely unaware of, I mean, that was one of the biggest highlights of being here.
I'm standing here with the artist Sean Michael Warren. What a pleasure it is to have you here at ArtPrize. Your installation actually caught the eye of someone very special who's coming into town tomorrow.
Well, earlier this week, in fact, after the announcement was made of the final 20, there was a special visitor that I had later that evening at my piece, and she mentioned that she was friends with the author of the book in which I studied in order to create this piece. And the guy's name is Dr. Scott Ellsworth, and I did not know that he was a professor at the University of Michigan. She emailed him, as well as Jen Bennett, who's one of the hosts of my stay here in Grand Rapids. And after emailing him, he responded like right away, and he was very impressed with the piece. He was very excited over it. We've connected with each other this week, and I'm just really excited to be able to meet him, but also he's excited to see a painting that's based off of his book. And it's been just one thing after another since being here. It's a lot of surprises still coming.
Yeah, a lot of things have transpired for you in the last few weeks. One of them in particular may be offering you a big opportunity.
Well, this comes from meeting Dr. Ellsworth, but shortly after he was, alerted of, my piece, he also told me that he contacted the curators at the National African American Museum at the Smithsonian that's not quite done yet, and to find out that they were already exhibiting the Black Wall Street series was just really, really phenomenal, and the timing of that was just incredible. So it's caught their interest, and it's one of those things that's sort of pending, and I'm looking forward to what comes from that.
Thank you so much. And A Promised Land can be seen at DeVos Place.
My name is Lauren, and this is my ArtPrize Insight. My ArtPrize Insight is to join the Art Club. Art Club members get perks like early access to some of our most popular venues and access to the Clubhouse, one of our downtown hospitality suites. To learn more about the Art Club, go to artprize.org/artclub.
We hope that you've been enjoying all the music tonight. We have another fantastic artist that's going to take the stage for the Tulsa concert series tomorrow. Of course, Matt Gerard, lived in Kalamazoo for a long time and a finalist on American Idol. But since we're talking about entertainment, we had to talk to this guy, Sam Porter of The Eddy. Now, we know the big ArtPrize finale is tomorrow. Wood TV has coverage starting at 7 and the big finale at 8. You're hosting the after party. So tell us a little bit about what The Eddy is, because it's new to ArtPrize this year.
Yeah, it's a new venue, and it's a tent venue is this amazing tent that really encompasses The Eddy. The Eddy is a swirling pool of arts, culture, and ideas, and we're kind of reinvesting all the energy into that green space right on North Monroe that hasn't been used. So there's a lot of purpose for us as artists as well as producers to experiment and test ideas. It's a beautiful tent. If you haven't seen it, it kind of looks like the Sydney, Australia Opera House of tents. 4,000 people were underneath it for the Avett Brothers, which was an amazing event. We're really excited to try other ideas next time.
That is wonderful. Okay, so tell us what you have lined up for tomorrow on the big ArtPrize finale after party.
Yeah, you bet. We have 3 more days left. Tonight's a giant silent disco and a big DJ parties. There's live bluegrass, all kinds of weird things. Tomorrow, we have this amazing Arttoberfest kickoff. Sierra Leone refugee all-stars from Africa, Graham Parsons in the go-rounds. And then Saturday's the big, big day. And we have Charles Bradley and the Extraordinaires, who are an incredible story in themselves. If you ever just Google Charles Bradley, and it's going to be one of those nights to really remember because the weather's perfect. It's the final party. It's a huge event, and we hope everyone will come down and join us.
Well, Sam, we need to know, do we need to get tickets, or what do we have to do to get a part of the action?
Yeah, tomorrow's like a $10 ticket. Tomorrow's a $30 ticket, but, you know, it's all about supporting the arts. That's kind of why we're all here dancing, right? That's what we're doing here at ArtPrize, really celebrating the arts and rejoicing in community, and this is what it's all about.
And where should people go to learn more about the lineup and what you have planned?
Absolutely. Go to porterhousepresents.com or check out tentvenue.com to see this amazing venue that we're really proud of. It's been a lot of work to work with community in the city and all of our sponsors to host. So thank you to ArtPrize and you guys and everybody who's been a part of this. You're awesome.
Yeah, and I understand that the Eddie is going to be back later years of ArtPrize. Of course, we have much more happening tonight with the Telsma concert series. So don't go away. We'll be right back.
It is a world that has taken over Grand Rapids, and we're not talking ArtPrize. Well, we are talking ArtPrize, but we're talking about craft brewing. And in a city that's known for its breweries, one artist is now mixing the industries, using craft brewing and ArtPrize to raise a glass to the unsung brewers in Beer City, USA. In a city tapped the beer epicenter, an industry crafted by its beards, tattoos, its hipster status. 6 faces give a different taste of what it looks like to brew beer.
Their perception of this industry is all the guys.
Sitting inside Boutique Emmanuel, Steph Harding's Women of Craft, 6 women brewers, stripped of their safety glasses, rubber gloves, and boots, creates the conversation.
And I've had huge equality conversations as well.
It's a shocker.
All of these women are brewers in the craft beer industry here in Michigan. Oh, yeah. No way. Yeah.
Eye-opening. In fact, it's all about the eyes.
When I do portraits, I focus a lot on the eyes, because I think that's sort of the, you know, that phrase, the window into the soul type of a thing. So I've really tried to bring that out.
The eyes are grabbing. And Harding, who's photographed exclusively in the craft beer industry the past years, wanted to create a conversation on the distorted perception of craft brewers.
When people see her like this, they're like, well, why didn't you photograph her smiling? And I'm like, this is what she did when she got in front of the camera. It was a completely different side that came out.
How about Amy?
Amy's so cool. She has a very intense, crazy sense of humor. Stacy, has probably been in the industry longest. She was the most concerned about doing this project out of all the women. Makeup, being in white.
Outside of the photographs and back in the environment that normally covers these women in the dust of grains and hops, their level of comfort bursts through the beer they brew.
Originally, actually, women did all the brewing. Alewives. So it was part of the cooking that was done in the kitchen.
You bringing brewing back?
I'm bringing brewing back. Back to the ladies.
As distinct as the pictures in the boutique, the brewers in Beer City, USA are as diverse as the beers they craft.
It's just it. It's diverse. You can have a beard, you can have long hair, you can wear makeup, you don't need makeup. That's one thing I love about it, is you can be who you are.
As you can see, Steph Harding's Women of Craft inside Boutique Emmanuel, which is inside the Amway Grand Plaza, throughout the remainder of ArtPrize. And one of the pieces you probably haven't seen entered into ArtPrize, but might have should have been, is the Storm Teammate forecast. We're joined by Chief Meteorologist Bill Steffen. And Bill, these last few weeks we have had almost a picture-perfect forecast. we're about to get rained on, literally, out here.
Yeah, and we'll tell you about that here in just a second. But I got to tell you that the wrap-up of ArtPrize is going to be fantastic. There will be a chance for a couple of sprinkles here tomorrow morning. But if we look at our ArtPrize forecast, we're going to be seeing our temperatures stuck pretty much in the low 60s during the day. I think as the day goes on, we'll move from cloudy skies during the early morning to partly cloudy by early afternoon and then mostly clear towards evening. Should be great weather for Matt Gerard in the evening and also for the big prize announcement that we're going to have here tomorrow evening as well. I want to take a moment and show you radar at the current time. We got some light to moderate rain moving down into Grand Rapids at the current time. We've had a couple of flashes of lightning over in Milwaukee. We're tracking that, but most of this will just be in the form of some light rain. So be coming through tonight, and like I said, we're left with only just a few sprinkles here come tomorrow morning. Weather looks great for Saturday and Sunday, so if you're making last-minute plans to come on down, looks fantastic here this weekend at ArtPrize.
Here's a look at the top 5 in the public vote in the 3D category. Greatest Generation by Fred Koglo at the Ford Museum. Maya 7624 by Sung Mo Park at Kendall College of Art and Design. Rolling Down by Cruzy Crew at the Amway Grand Plaza Hotel. The Race by Kurt Swanson at DeVos Place. And Seasons by Robin Protz, also at the Amway Grand.
And affection. I said I love her. Oh, yes, I love her. I said I love her. Yes, I love her. She good to me now. She good to me. 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 I said she good to me. She good to me, she good to me, she good to me. Thank you so much.
Mental health is not something we usually talk about, but for this group of artists, it's a story that deserves to be told, and hopefully get others talking about it too.
So this is a quiet moment, even though the painting may speak.
This ArtPrize entry, Be Nice Imagined, is a group entry from the Mental Health Foundation of West Michigan and 5 individual artists. They all underwent their own form of mental illness. Ivan and Susan shared their story with us.
I live in New York City, make a living as an artist, and I came to West Michigan in a crisis situation because I had family here. And one of the first places I connected up with was the Mental Health Foundation.
My story is about 25 years old, dealing with mental illness. Life was pretty good. I had 2 girls, single parent. Started to become mentally ill with depression.
Soon I started to excel out here. I became an author and a writer. And I attribute that to the Mental Health Foundation being the first stepping stone for me.
But it was quite the journey. Because before I was hospitalized, I was so delusional, I really basically didn't know what was reality.
Anyone can have a mental illness. Artists, singers, rock stars, lawyers, bankers, car salesmen, everybody.
Just getting that label of mental illness, which sometimes frightens the daylights out of people.
So this is for us is to highlight people who happen to have an artistic ability and who talk about their mental illness and possibly even create their art pieces surrounding what their illness could be.
My art is kind of a triumph against mental health. Every time that you make a painting and you make something, you're winning.
But many times people, how they find that as their healing device is through art.
I find that recovery is the journey of my life, which is kind of relation to the trees of just keep growing and getting bigger and reaching out, and reaching the roots down further.
For the Mental Health Foundation, it really is about creating awareness and decreasing stigma, championing this crusade to let people know that we can talk about the illness too.
Life can start getting normal again. And you can become beautiful like a tree, because no story should go untold. It always helps somebody out there.
The Mental Health Foundation will be having their own art event, Shining Through, on October 15th, where they'll be auctioning some of the paintings you just saw and many more. We'll have all of these details on the community page at woodtv.com.
Now a look at the top 5 in the installation category as voted on by the public. Balancing Act by Calvin Babbage at the Ford Museum. Reach and Splash by Andy Sackstetter, also at the Ford Museum. Also at the Ford Museum is Sensei by Gianluca Trena. The Grand Rapid Tape Drawing by the Tape Art Crew at Tower Pinkster. And Time and Again Grand Rapids by Midge Bolt and Doreen Gunnick at the Amway Grand Plaza.
And a belly full of broken dreams. But baby making babies gonna take a little while to realize love ain't always what it seems. Yeah, you're gonna be giving it all away. Yeah, you're gonna get giving it all away. Spotlight is shining. We all know who you are. And the price you pay keeps rising.
The Talsma Concert Series on Wood TV 8, sponsored by Talsma Furniture.
Amazing. What has it been like to play for this audience tonight?
This is like nothing else, you know? I mean, you play a lot of big shows, you play some high-profile stuff, but there's nothing like coming home to a hometown crowd. And even though I didn't grow up anywhere near Grand Rapids, being in Michigan, it feels like home. So thank you guys for being here tonight.
You have a huge fan base here. Make sure you stick around. He's going to play for us a little bit longer. And don't forget to come back tomorrow. We've got more live music and the live watch show. It all starts tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Tony Luca, one more time. Take it away.
Thank you guys so much.
5 minutes left in the show. Play us out.
5 minutes left.
This is a request. Toss and turn and tide. She looks at me, I look around. She blows me kisses, she blows my mind. As I go falling like the rain, straight into the arms of Foxy Jane. See Foxy Jane. Off the top slips off her neck. Blue jeans are piled on the floor. She does the thing in a parade. I can't take it, just can't take it anymore. Temperature rising like a flame. Straight into the on the Foxy Jane. Sweet Foxy Jane. You're my sweet Foxy Jane. Sweet Foxy Jane.
you.